And surfing and pretty girls on the beach, one band out of Alisal embraced another sound. The E-Types were inspired by the British invasion, and for a while, they made a bit of a name for themselves in the music business. Here to talk about those days and the recent rediscovery of the E-Types is the band's leader, Bob Wence. And Bob, welcome back to the program.
Well, thank you, Barry. It's nice to be here.
This is a really neat story. You had a regional hit that sort of led you onto a path of rock and roll stardom, maybe in lowercase letters.
Yeah.
And then what happened to the band after that?
Well, one of the fellows got sick. He had hepatitis, and it just seemed like it started us on our way down. We had some contract problems down in L.A. Don wasn't going on the road with us, so we were replacing him. And we were starting to get real discouraged. And after about 3 or 4 years of it, and then they weren't putting the records out because we refused to go down to Mexico. They were going to book us in Acapulco for several months. And we didn't want to do it. We didn't want to cancel everything. We felt everything was happening in the Bay Area, and that's where we were playing mostly, is from here to San Francisco. They got a little bit PO'd, and they dropped the contract, so all that music that we did just sit there. It didn't come out. A lot of it didn't.
And it belonged to them for the longest time, the record company.
Yeah, for all these years until just a couple of years ago.
It's now been re-released on CD, and Russell, why don't you play cut number 4 for us here? What's the name of the song, Bob?
Put the Clock Back on the Wall.
This was a big one here. Listen to this.
You don't know she will laugh so hard to cry.
You know, the harmonies are very much evocative of the Hollies and that British invasion sound. You guys captured that.
Yeah, we worked at it. Took a lot of time.
It's an interesting story about the name E-Types. You didn't want to be named after cars.
Right, and that's what we end up doing, though. It's just before the Battle of the Bands at Hartnell, we needed a name real fast, and since we liked the British invasion music, we thought, well, the English Types. And we never knew it was a car for at least another year.
Turns out the E-Type was the name of a car.
It was a Jaguar.
Here's a look at the CD that's available. Bob, tell us what the band is doing these days now.
Well, we're scattered around. My brother, the keyboard player, Jody, is back in Nashville, and Danny Monagle, the bass player, is here in Salinas, along with Don, and Reggie, our drummer's up in Pleasanton. He's up working in some kind of a computer firm up there.
Playing now?
They're still playing a little bit. We're getting back together a little bit.
Recording, I understand?
I reassembled the band earlier this year and went over to Twilight Studios in Moss Landing and started recording.
We hope it's a nice return engagement for you.
It's working out.
Great story, and we're pleased you could be on the program.
All right, well, thanks, Barry.
Bob Wence, the E-Types. All right, we're going to turn our attention now to the